We're going to start again today with a reminder that spelling is all about meaning, and we spell words the way that we do in order to communicate meaning as we read. Orthography is made of morphology, which is the building blocks in how words work, the phonology, or the sounds, those grapheme-phoneme correspondences, and the etymology, which is the story or the history of the spelling of the word. For this little video today, I relied on a number of resources, including Linguist Educator Exchange, the High Frequency Word Project, Etym Online, the Online Etymology Dictionary, and the Real Spelling Spelling Toolkit. Today, we're going to look at the word friend. First, let's start with the phonology of the word. When we say the word friend, if we slow it down, we can identify a number of different sounds. F, n, d. I'm then going to think about which of the letters, the graphemes that I see on the page, are making those sounds. I can identify them by circling them within the word. F, n, d. I can also identify which of the graphemes are functioning in a consonant role and which of the graphemes are in fact a vowel. When I do this, I can't help but notice something's going on with the letter I. Why is there a letter I in the word friend? When we look at the story of the word friend as we know it today, we can go back to Old English, and at this point it was probably pronounced friend. By Middle English, that two-syllable word had been shortened to a monosyllable, friend, by the Middle English time. While this may not explain why there is an I in friend, it does help us understand why it is a single syllable word. It's been that way since Middle English. In order to understand why there's an I in friend, we need to take a little detour and talk about the days of the week. When we look at the days of the week, we go all the way back to ancient Rome. They named their days of the week after celestial bodies like planets, and those were connected with gods and goddesses from their culture. So Sunday was named after the brightest object in the sky, which happens to be the sun. Monday was next, and it was named after the moon. From there, we have a connection to Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, and Saturn, which is where Saturday comes in. We're going to spend some more time looking at the days of the week in another video, but for now, we're going to focus in on Friday. Friday was identified by the planet Venus, which happens to be the god of love and affection. Now, as the Roman Empire spread and its territory grew, they bumped into Germanic peoples, and those people adapted the Roman days of the week, but they replaced some of the words with gods that they had in their culture, which led us to, instead of talking about Friday being connected to Venus, we see that in Germanic, it was Frigga as the goddess of love and affection. What do you notice about the spelling of Frigg? I notice that it's pretty close to Friday with an F-R-I. So where is the connection between Friday and friend? Both of these words share this common root, meaning love and affection. Think about how we feel about our friends. We love our friends. That makes sense then that this word is connected historically to Friday, who is named after a goddess of love and affection. Now, when you look at the END that we're adding on to the FRI here, you might think that's not very common as a suffix in present day, and you're absolutely correct. When it was a suffix, would have been back in Old English. So END and OND were suffixes, and if we go all the way back to here, all the way back to our Old English spelling, we see the OND. So this OND at the Old English spelling is connected to END, how we currently spell the word. Normally, we would not break apart friend into FRI plus END. The purpose of breaking it apart is simply to show you the connection between Friday and friend. We consider friend a free base word that can be affixed, so you can add prefixes and suffixes to it, and you can also build compound words with it. So how do you remember that there's an I in friend? Well, you simply have to recall that it shares the same root as Friday. You know how to spell Friday. Now you can remember how to spell friend. That's it for today, folks. Remember to be curious. When you notice a word that has made you stop and wonder why it's spelled the way it is, that's when we start investigating.